Hello everyone, welcome back to our lesson. Today we are going to do a language awareness exercise. So these are our learning objectives. The first one is, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to construct at least 8 out of 12 zero and first conditional sentences correctly. The next one, you should be able to fill in 6 blanks correctly with the right verbs. So are you ready? Let's head into our lesson. So today's lesson we are going to do a grammar exercise, mainly focusing on conditionals. So the conditionals that we are going to learn today is zero and first conditional. Before we start doing the task, let's learn what is zero conditional. How does it look like? When do we use it? And what are the examples? Okay, so this is the structure of zero conditional sentence. Okay, we begin our sentence with if or when, followed by present simple tense. And after that, we put comma. Okay, from if or when until the comma, this clause is what we call condition. Condition here means like a situation. In Malay, we can call it syarat or situasi. After the comma, the sentence will be followed by the result or what we can call the main clause. The result or the main clause must be in the simple present form. So this is the structure. First, we have the condition, comma, and then we have the result. All right. Next, let's talk about when we use. Next, let's talk about when do we use the zero conditional. Okay, so we use zero conditional to talk about things that are always true, like a scientific fact. So this is the keyword. Always true. Okay. So what does it mean by always true? It means here that the results are always the same. It is always the same in the past, the same in the present, and also the same in the future. Okay? Other than scientific facts, we also use zero conditional to talk about facts, habits, rules, and instruction. Now let's look at the example. The first one, if you freeze water, it turns into ice. So which category does this zero conditional falls under? It is a scientific fact. Yes, this is a scientific fact. What about the second one? And if you heat water at 100 degrees, it boils. This is also a scientific fact. What about the next one? If students miss an exam, the professor fails them. So which category does this fall under? Is it a facts, habits, rules, instruction? I think this is rules. All right. What about the next one? If my wife has a cold, I usually catch it. This is more of a habit, right? The usual things that would usually happen in the household. Because you live together in a house. So if my wife has a cold, I would usually catch it. So this is a habit. What about the next one? I get tired if I work too much. This is a habit as well. And then the last one, if I'm late for dinner, they start eating without me. I think this is more of a rule. Yeah, rule. Okay, so there you go. I hope you understand how to write a zero conditional sentence. Okay, what about the first conditional? Just like the zero conditional, it has two clauses, which is the first one, the condition, and then the result. or the main clause. So basically, if this happens, then this is the result, right? The same as the zero conditional just now. So the structure will look like this. If, it will begin with if. There is no substitution other than if. Okay, you cannot use when in the first conditional, only if, followed by the simple present and a comma. Next is the result or the main clause. The result or the main clause should be in the simple future tense. How does a simple future tense look like? It will have a subject. What is a subject? Subject is the character in the situation. It is I, you, me, they, Paula, Sarah, the cat, the ball, the building, followed by will or will not. Will or will not. This is the contraction for will not. Okay, followed by the verb in its bare form, meaning that the original form of the verb. Kata kerja yang asal. For example, it is not looked, but it is look. The bare form is look without ed. Other than will or won't, you can even use can or could, may or might. So when do we use the first conditional? We use the first conditional to talk about possibilities in the present or in the future. Let me highlight that. Possibilities in the present, also in the future. Other than possibilities, you can also talk about predictions, superstitions, plans, promises, offers, suggestions, or also warnings. Okay, now let's look at the example one by one. If it rains, I will stay at home. So which category does this sentence falls under? I think this is plan, right? If it rains, I am planning to stay at home. So it's a plan. Or is it a prediction? I think it's more of a plan. So this is a plan. The next one, if I wake up late, I will miss the bus. This sounds more like a predictions. Prediction. What about the next one? And if it is sunny, we'll go to the park. This sounds like a plan. If Juan leaves, Paula will be sad. What category does this falls under? Offers, suggestion, warnings, promises, plans, superstitions? I think this is more of a warning, right? Warning. This one, if I find your email, I will send you the picture. What is this? Is it a prediction? Superstition, plans, promise, offer, suggestion, warning? If I find your email, I will send you the picture. I think this is an offer. Yeah, this is an offer, right? What about the next one? The last one, okay? If you study hard, you will pass your exams. I think this is a suggestion, right? So this is a suggestion. All right, so there you go. This is how we write first conditional sentence. So what is the difference between zero conditional and the first conditional? Basically, you fikir macam ni je lah. Zero conditional ni cakap tentang benda yang pasti. Okay? Things that are always true. Contoh dia, scientific fact, fakta-fakta scientific, ataupun just a general fact, habit. Habit ni apa? Benda yang kita selalu buat. Contohnya, I will sneeze when I smell my mother's cooking. Kan? Ataupun, I will laugh when my father makes a joke about his teeth. That's a habit. And then rules. Kecil sangat pula. And then rules. Peraturan, instruction, arahan. Okay. So, zero conditional is things that are always true, is a fact. And then, first conditional pula is about possibility. Okay. Or prediction, superstitions. Okay, superstitions ni apa? Superstition ni macam ramalan. Macam kepercayaan. Kepercayaan yang karut-marut tu. Ataupun plans, promises, offers, suggestion, cadangan, and warning, amaran. Okay? So, zero conditional talks about things that are true. First conditional talks about possibilities in the present or in the future. Okay, now let's do the exercise on page 73 of your textbook. Alright, task A. Look at these conditional sentences and answer the questions below. Okay, let's read the sentences. So these two are zero conditional sentences. The first one is, if you exercise regularly, you stay in shape. Right? When a player gets the ball in the net, he scores a point. So this falls under which category? Fact, general fact, right? This is a fact. And meanwhile, the second one is the rule. Okay, the first one is a fact, the second one is a rule. Right. The next sentences, they are the first conditional sentences. The first one is, if Josh plays football all today, he will be too tired to go to the party. So this one falls under which category? Is it a prediction, superstition, offer, plans, promises, suggestion, warnings? I think that's a warning. The first sentence, I think it is a warning. What about the second one? My parents might or may buy me a present if I win the tournament. Is it a promise or an offer? A promise or an offer? I think it's a promise. Okay, what about the last one? If Tabitha does that again, she could get a red card. I think this is a warning. Okay. Now let's answer these questions. The first question, which conditional is used to talk about something that is likely to happen in the present or in the future? Likely to happen in the present or in the future. Remember what we've discussed earlier? This is the first conditional. Likely to happen, possibility. Zero conditional is a fact. All right. Now, second, which conditional is used to talk about facts and general truths? So you know the answer. It's zero conditional. The third question, which conditional can you use when instead of if? Do you still remember this? Just in case you don't remember, let's look at this. Yes, it's zero conditional. We can use when instead of if. Zero conditional. The fourth question. Which conditional can we also use may, might, or could with? Let's look at the structure. Okay, we can use may, might, or could. No? Yes. Here, we can use can, might, could, may, this part. So it's the first conditional. All right, so there you go. Now, okay, let's read the warning here. Be careful. When the if or when clause comes before the main clause, right? Remember to use comma. This is also a conditional sentence. Do you notice that? When the if or when clause. So this is zero conditional or first conditional? We use when, so it is a zero conditional. It also talks about the rules. Okay, so basically, if the if or the when clause comes before the main clause, okay, you need to have a comma, right? But if this main clause comes before the if clause, you don't need a comma, okay? For example, water turns into ice if you freeze them. So no comma. Right, now let's do task B. Use the prompts to write zero conditional sentences in your notebook. Okay. All right. So let's use these prompts given, okay, to write the zero conditional sentences. Okay, zero conditional, so we can use if and when. Okay. So the first one, if you hit the ball, potong ni, hit the ball past the other player, comma, you what? You get a point or you will get a point. Okay, remember, since we are writing zero conditional sentence, so the main clause or the result, okay, the clause after the comma, okay, after the if clause, needs to be in present simple form. Okay, so no will, okay, because will is only for first conditional. Okay. So since this is zero conditional, your sentence should look like this. If you hit the ball past the other player, comma, you get a point. Okay, now number 2. You boil water, it evaporates. Okay, if you boil water, comma, it evaporates. Okay, why do we add as here? Because of the pronoun here, it. Okay, if the pronoun is it, you need to have as at the end of the verb. Okay. Now, number 3. You mix orange and brown, you get yellow. If you mix orange and brown, comma, you get yellow. Number 4. If you sunbathe for hours, you burn. Remember, no will, because it's a zero conditional. Number 5. If you get to the end first, comma, you win the race. Right. Number 6, if you eat too much, comma, you get fat. Right. So there you go. That is our answer. Those that I cross here, you don't need to write it down, okay? Just write down the sentence, okay? If you hit the ball past the other player, comma, you get a point, okay? I hope you get it. Now let's look at the next task. Let's read the instruction. Match and then write sentences in your notebook using the first conditional. This one we need to write these sentences using the first conditional rule. But first we have to match first, okay? Let's match this 1 till 6 with this. Okay. Be thirsty. Catch the bus on time. Eat something nutritious. Put on a sweatshirt. Drink some water. So I assume if you are thirsty, then you need to drink some water. Okay. So number 1, the match is D. Number 2, feel cold. Okay, kita cross this out lah. Feel cold. Catch the bus on time. Put on sweatshirt. If you feel cold, put on the sweatshirt. Number 3, be hungry. Be hungry. Try your hardest, take a short break. Eat something nutritious. Number 4, be tired. If you're tired, take a short break. Take a short break. Number 5, want to win. If you want to win, try your hardest. Number 6, not want to be late for the race. Then catch the bus on time. Okay, so there you go. We have matched these phrases, and then we can finally write down the first conditional sentences. Okay, now let's write down our sentence. The first sentence. If I am thirsty, I will drink some water. Okay, number 2. If Sandy is cold, she will put on a sweatshirt. Right, number 3. If my dad is hungry, he will eat something nutritious. Wrong spelling. Nutritious. Yes, that's more like it. Number 4. If you are tired, you can take a short break. All right, number 5. If you want to win, could try your best. Number 6. If We do not want to be late for the race. We might want to, or we should catch the bus on time. Right. So there you go. That is the sample sentences. Maybe you can write down your own sentences. Right? These are just my suggestion. Right, now let's do the last task, which is task D. Complete the text with the correct form of the verbs in brackets. Virtual sports. If you not know what virtual sports are, could you guess from the name? So we need to add an auxiliary verb before not know. If you do not know what virtual sports are, could you guess from the name? Well, virtual sports are like real sports, only you do them in front of a screen in your own home. They are very popular because they are part of our high-tech world, and most people love anything that is connected with technology. When something new comes onto the market, everybody wants to buy it. So what is the simple present form of the verb come? When something new comes onto the market, everybody wants to buy it. So this is a zero conditional sentence because it starts with when. Only zero conditional, the if can be substituted into when. What about the first one here? This is the first conditional or the the zero conditional or the first conditional? If you do not know, could you guess from the name? So this is the first conditional, right? Because it uses could here. It talks about the possibility as well. Right, next, number 3. Virtual sports certainly have their advantages. If you not have enough time to go to a sports club, you can exercise at home. So this is the first conditional because of the word can. Because this talks about the future, can? If you not have enough time to go to the sports club, you can exercise at home. Okay. Moreover, you can play a game of tennis or football when this is still a conditional sentence, but the main clause is in front of the if clause. So this is zero, okay? Zero conditional because of the word when. When it needs to be in the present simple form. So when it rains, okay, you need to add s to the verb rain. When it rains outside. Another great advantage is that you can play anything you like without paying for expensive equipment. However, there is one disadvantage. This one is zero or first conditional? It's zero because of the word when here. When you do virtual sports, you don't have an experienced instructor to give you advice. When you do, no changes here, okay? Next, so if you're one of those people who doesn't want to leave the comfort of their own home, you love virtual sports. If you are one of those people who doesn't want to leave the comfort of their own home, so this is a suggestion. So suggestion is the first conditional. So after you, kita kena tambah will kan, will ataupun can ataupun might. Tetapi in this sentence, in this context, the word will is the most suitable one. Will love virtual sports. So there you go, that is our answer. Alright, so that is all for our lesson today. If you have any question, okay, if you need more enrichment, more explanation and more detail, you can ask me my WhatsApp or you can call me. So that is all for today. Thank you for your participation and I'll see you guys again next time. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.